Good morning. My name is Mike Hernandez. I'm the interim director for the McAllen Parks and Recreation Department, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning. We have a great announcement. We have a few individuals that are going to be speaking with you, but I'd like to recognize some of our special guests. I know elected officials. We have Commissioner Veronica Whitaker. Thank you for joining us. We have our PUB General Manager, Mr. Mark Vega. We have a couple of department heads and assistant city managers. Assistant city manager, Mr. Joe Vera. Assistant city manager, Mr. Jeff Johnson. And assistant city manager, Ms. Michelle Leftwich. Thank you for joining us. Department heads, we have Convention Center Director, Mr. Omar Rodriguez. Our City Attorney, Mr. Kevin Pagan. Our Public Works Director, Mr. Carlos Sanchez. Fire Chief Valderas. And of course, we have our City Manager, Mr. Roy Rodriguez. And our first guest to speak with us today would be our Mayor, Mr. Jim Darling. Please help me welcome Mr. Mayor Jim Darling.
Thank you. And welcome to the McAllen Marathon press conference. When you announce all those people, it made me wonder who's at City Hall running the city, but that's okay. I'm sure it's in capable hands with Mary. Okay, I'd like to invite you to participate as a participant, and hopefully as a participant or a spectator for the McAllen Marathon on December 13th, 2015 here at McAllen Sports Park. The beginning will be right behind us. It's a very exciting event. It's the best marathon in the United States of America. Can I announce that? It absolutely is. It's a perfect weather, flat course. It's a Boston Marathon qualifier, and so there's going to be tons of people here running both the marathon and the half marathon, and a bunch of qualifiers that'll be there for the Boston Marathon qualifying. It's a very exciting event, and it's a great way to see McAllen, by the way, even better than riding a bike. So hopefully you'll participate in that. You know, McAllen's what they call a Let's Move city, both literally and figuratively. We're awarded as a Let's Move city, and with our school district, we're the only city and school district in the whole United States of America that's designated as Let's Move city and school district. So I think that says a lot for our parks and recreation, and more importantly, our citizens who get out and really, literally, let's move. We did receive honors in Washington, D.C. for that, and Commissioner Vela Whitaker is going to be recognized next month at the National League of Cities in Nashville, Tennessee. So Veronica, congratulations. She always serves us proud in those endeavors. You know, I don't think we could ever think of a marathon. I know I will never think of a marathon without thinking of Commissioner Scott Grain, and what a great participant he was in the marathon, what a great example he was to our citizens to let's move, and we'll always certainly remember Scott, and it's only fitting that we also name the marathon after Scott. You know, Scott served as city commissioner for 9 years. He was really involved in our community. I just did a citizenship award for two of the kids at Roosevelt Elementary, and when I was talking about what made a good citizen and what citizenship was all about, I certainly thought of Scott when I did that presentation, because he was what it was all about as relationship to citizen and service to our city. But he also was a great marathon runner, and so he participated in that. And so it's great news that we can remember him here, and I know all of us will always, whether we name it or not, we remember Scott, but it's only fitting that we certainly do so. I'd like to share a little glimpse of Scott's life in a video that we have presented here today.
Fantastic. It's growing nicely. I think we're up to over 1,800 participants today. I've met lots of people that work for me whose spouses work for other cities and school districts that are on relay teams. It's going to be a beautiful day. just to share anecdotally some of the experiences along the way, I can remember running past different homes and people had card tables set up outside passing out, whether it was slices of oranges, lots of neighborhood families that you recognize along the way screaming and cheering you on.
Big smile. 3, 2, 1. Look here.
I'm Scott Crane, City Commissioner, District 1. I need a smile. City Commissioner for the City of McAllen, District 1. One more time.
Let it go. Let whatever go. You're having a great day.
Okay.
Well, that video is a great video, but it really doesn't do Scott justice. He was, as you can see, he was a fun guy, and he was a great guy. He was not only a great citizen, but a great friend too. We know we have lots of teams registered for a relay marathon, but we're still looking for more full and half marathoners. Everybody can do a half. Who can do a half marathon? Everybody. Okay, everybody can do a half marathon. We're trying to make this a premier event. It's already a great event, and we want to make it even bigger. So this year we're adding a 5K run for those that can't do the half marathon. Started December 12th to reach out to our community. I think that's when we also let the kids know that ran the marathon was December 12th. Is that right? So there's going to be a bunch of kids here, even first graders, that are going to have run the marathon a mile 26 times, and so that's going to be fantastic. So December 12th, come out, do a 5K run, watch the kids get their awards for running a marathon. It's going to be very exciting. So anybody can be a part of the McAllen Marathon experience, literally. You can do it by running, by half mile, 5K, the full marathon, setting up a booth outside your house and then cheering them on, providing refreshments, coming over here to the finish line. Literally, if you don't come and do something, there's something wrong with you. So we want you out here. So join us, bring the entire family. It's going to be a lot of fun. Help us remember Scott Crane by running this year at the McAllen Marathon Scott Crane Memorial Run. I noticed that Brian Lewis came here, and Brian is chairman of our McAllen Parks and Recreation Department. And are you still chairman of the chamber? You're ex-chairman of the chamber. And Brian's another great example of great citizenship. So thank you for being here, Brian. And Brian's going to announce he's going to run a marathon, right? And Brian's going to run the marathon too. I'm going to invite Sasha Crane to join me here at the start and finish line that shows the McAllen Marathon Scott Crane Memorial Run. We're going to unveil the sign. Sasha, would you join me, please? I don't know how we're going to do this. How are we going to do this?
They're going to say 3, 2, 1.
All right. I think every year we ought to start the marathon by saying it's going to be a great day, because that's what Scott said in the video. So let's remember that. Sasha, do you want to say anything?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm standing here before you very humbled. Scott loved the city. He loved the people of the city. And on December 14th, we lost a great leader, a great visionary, and a great man. He started that day by saying it was going to be a beautiful day, and it certainly was, because we had a wonderful participation in the McAllen Marathon. We had lots of people coming out supporting the City of McAllen, and it just shows what a great city we are lucky enough to live in and be a part of. So thank you so much for being a part of the city, for trying to continue his vision, for encouraging others to stay fit, to keep on moving, and I applaud the city for continuing the Let's Move project. And I applaud the city for trying to help us keep his memory alive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sasha. And on behalf of the city staff and the city commissioners, we want to see you December 12th and 13th, and Let's Move McAllen. Thank you.
Not much time left. Gotta decide. We gon' fight. I'm gonna ride. Gotta make a move. See now. Or never. And time ain't never been on my side, but now is the time I gotta get mine just to make sure my mind is fine. As I roll around and I'm scavenging, ain't doing great but I'm managing. And rather soon or late I do what it takes instead of looking down and be panicking. Hell no, I can't fail y'all. Here to fight, I won't bail y'all. We either here to win or we here to end, and this is what I won't tell y'all. No matter the circumstances, we will advance. Is what I've been saying to you. We got